Avengers, assemble! Hello everybody, this is 22 Tiger Dude here, and I am here to bring you my review for Avengers Age of Ultron. So Avengers Age of Ultron is the sequel to The Avengers. And of course you have the returning cast of Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlet Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, Jeremy Renner, Chris Hemsworth, Samuel L. Jackson, with the new additions of Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, and James Spader as Ultron. So Avengers Age of Ultron is about the team coming together once again, and Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, they want to make this peacekeeping program called Ultron. And the reason they're making this program is that so this could hopefully help them in the future from those aliens that you saw in the first Avengers from ever coming back. So they were both hoping this is a way for the program to work out, and surely enough, it completely backfires on them. So now it's up to the Avengers to assemble and stop Ultron from his evil plan. So going into Avengers Age of Ultron, not only is it my most anticipated movie of the summer, but it is my most anticipated movie of the entire year. I love The Avengers. The Avengers is one of my favorite movies of 2012. I just absolutely adored that movie. That was the movie where you got to see all of these heroes together for the first time on screen. It was magic. It was amazing. Just what was created for that first film was just fantastic. And how was Avengers Age of Ultron? It was fucking awesome! Yeah! 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 So yeah, Avengers Age of Ultron. But of course, let's start off with the acting. Robert Downey Jr. continues to be the charismatic Tony Stark / Iron Man. He really does a great job with the character. Chris Evans is still amazing as Captain America. Mark Ruffalo at this point truly embodies Hulk. He really captures the character, having to calm down his temper. Scarlet Johansson as Black Widow is incredible, where you do see like a more softer side to the character, to where she really does show a lot of care to the Hulk, and she's actually the key for Bruce Banner to actually calm down, because you know the Hulk can get a little too crazy. But she feels a little different from the other movies, which I personally think is a great thing, because you got to go more deeper into Black Widow. Chris Hemsworth is awesome as Thor. He continues to really embrace the character, and Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye is just flat out awesome. And it's so great to see Hawkeye actually get developed in this movie, because, you know, one of my minor issues with the Avengers is that Hawkeye was underdeveloped. He really was, let's face it. So I'm glad Joss Whedon gave Hawkeye what he should have gotten in the first Avengers, and that really makes me so happy. You really care about Hawkeye, and I just thought how we got to explore Hawkeye's backstory, it was just truly incredible. It was very intriguing. There's a few more actors in here that I don't want to really get into, but they did a very great job too. And now let's talk about the new additions. I think personally for me, Quicksilver was really entertaining. I'm not going to bother comparing him to the character in X-Men Days of Future Past, because he is different. And personally, I think that's downright unfair. So I'm just gonna criticize based on Aaron Taylor Johnson alone. And I think he does do a really good job with Quicksilver. And then Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch, I thought she was absolutely badass. The character was more interesting than I thought. I knew she'd be an interesting character, but not like how the movie explored her. And speaking of Ultron, I thought he was actually a very awesome villain. I really thought James Spader had the right voice for the character. He fit the overall personality to the character. And Ultron is surprisingly a sarcastic and funny villain. He was a little menacing, and he was funny at the same time, so I thought the movie does bring a great balance into those things. I love the fact that he was actually created by Tony Stark. Well, the reason he's charismatic, sarcastic, and funny is because, you know, Tony Stark is charismatic, sarcastic, and funny. I could understand why people are going to have criticisms regarding that, but I personally loved how Ultron was handled throughout this movie. He just made for a very entertaining villain with a very interesting personality behind him. I really do appreciate how Joss Whedon takes the time with each of these actors, because it's so hard to work with so many characters, and if you were in the hands of a director that wasn't so sure what to do, this movie could have fallen apart easily. But it is thanks to Joss Whedon knowing exactly what to do that he's able to handle all of these characters with care and develop them as best as possible, because this movie is about the same running time as the first one, just shorter by a couple of minutes. So with a running time like that, for a movie like this, it's not enough. So I'm sure with the running time that isn't enough, he did the best he could, and I thought he did excel with that. Not only do I love how he handles his characters, but I loved how he would handle the dialogue, how each of the characters would interact with each other. I feel like the character interactions are just as strong as they are in the Avengers. The action scenes themselves are handled with skill, very well filmed, a lot of shots for you to get a nice wide open scope. The Hulkbuster scene, that was definitely one hell of a scene. It was very entertaining, it was funny, and it was just plain awesome. It is a little more darker than the first one, but the good thing about the sequel is that even though yes, you do still have your dark tones here and there, it's not like extremely dark, it's not like it's gruesome and depressing. The movie manages to be funny even though it has that. So I do give credit to Avengers Age of Ultron 2 having moments of, you know, being dark when it needs to be, but still keeping that light, fun tone to it. And the cinematography for the movie looks absolutely gorgeous. A lot of scenes are just very well shot. I do have to say, however, that the movie does have some pacing and editing issues. Some scenes here and there do feel a little rushed, and some scenes here and there, in terms of the editing, it does feel a little choppy. And then of course, the one and only Andy Serkis, who plays Claw. I thought he did a fantastic job. I really enjoyed his character, but I really didn't think his character served any purpose to Age of Ultron. And my final flaw with this movie is when you see Ultron's plan in the finale. Without spoiling anything, what he does in the finale, it was awesome. It was definitely entertaining. You know, the drama was strong, the action was strong, it looks visually stunning, but it's what happens that you're all like, okay, Ultron, you couldn't have gone another way to, like, fix humanity and all that. It was just a little weird. Overall though, Avengers Age of Ultron is so awesome. It kicks off the summer movie season with a bang. I don't think it's as good as the Avengers. I do still think the 2012 film is better. So yeah, it's not a perfect movie, but it's a damn great movie, and I just had an awesome time watching Avengers Age of Ultron. So, I'm going to give Avengers Age of Ultron 3.5 out of 4 stars. So everyone, in the comments down below, let me know, what did you think of Avengers Age of Ultron? Also, you guys, I did get to join Mark Krojcik to spoil and discuss Avengers Age of Ultron with him and his awesome guests. If you guys want to check that out, I will leave a link in the description below. This is 22 Tiger Dude here, and don't forget that I will always have Tiger Power!